and welcome to a new video for Sonic Sorcery. I'm Stefan Key, your Sonic Sorcerer, and in this video I'm super excited to show you one of my recent remixes that I did for this very beautiful medicine song for my dear soul sister Ella. And yeah, I just want to walk you through my workflow and my process, how I approach remixes and especially like medicine music remixes. So basically what I got was the stems, right? So they sent me the vocals and the guitars and all the things that they did. She did it together with Haptic. Haptic was the producer. And so I received the stems. And I was just basically analyzing the arrangement, and then I was setting the loops. So here's the guitar, there's a left and a right track. And then I was going through the track and finding a pattern there. You know, interestingly enough, the length of the phrases or like of the sections is like 5 bars and 2 16th notes. Oh, sorry, 2 8th notes. And so I looped basically all the different parts as you can have a listen now. Like I'm just soloing like the voice and the guitar. So we have the intro. There's no vocals yet. So then we have the first verse. And the second verse and the bridge. And basically my idea was, you know, because I love to work in session view first, and I'm always collecting and gathering elements. So what I did in the whole process, I was playing the sections. Let's say I was playing the intro. And then I would play around and record stuff. And I recorded a lot of pads and a lot of instruments for each section, basically. And in general, I also wanted to include solfeggio frequencies. So as you can see here, I have my solfeggio group. And if I solo that, that's what we hear. So I have all the harmonics of 111 Hertz, which is a meditative frequency. It is a frequency that is known to switch our brain activity from the linear left brain to the intuitive right brain. And they have been found, caves have been found where this where they resonate at that frequency. So they did measurements and they found out that the caves resonate at 111 Hertz, which is also a harmonic of the solfeggio scale. So I have all those harmonics. This is like a sub octave, right? This is like 55.5 Hertz, very low octave. And those are all the notes A, you know, if I see, it's like A in 444 Hertz. And this is like then, if you go up the octaves, you have like 111, 222, right? And then if you double 222, which is an octave higher, you have 444. So I have those frequencies. They're also called angel frequencies. Basically intuitive people and people who are like mediums, they found out that the angelic realm is communicating through those numbers, like 111, 222, 333, 444. And that's why they are like some sort of part of the extended solfeggio scale, which I will get in later because it's pretty complex, because actually there's 81 solfeggio frequencies and not just the 9 that we mostly aware of. So then I have just the 111 as a sub frequency again, which is not really a sub but more like a bass frequency. And then I have like 528 Hertz, which is the perfect C also in the solfeggio scale, which is the DNA activation. So those are the solfeggios. And in order to work with the solfeggios, I had to tune everything to 444 Hertz. So if you check, for instance, the guitar right here in my tuning, I tuned it up 15 cents. And if you tune a 440 Hertz sample up 15 cents, you end up with 444. So if we check the tuning here, you can see, right, we're on 440 now because I changed the tuning. Same for the vocals. If we go into the verse, you see, I changed it to 444 Hertz also. So that also means that all the other instruments that I've recorded with all the sample libraries and plugins and stuff, and even my electric guitar, they had to be tuned to 444 Hertz as well, so that everything is harmonic with the solfeggios. All right, so that being said, I started recording stuff, and let's have a look. Of course, I always start with the pads, so I recorded a bunch of pads. So let's go through the pads a little bit. So there's one of my favorite plugins here, Contact. And there's a beautiful sample library called Thrumming Textures Earth, which you can get in the piano book library. I hope they also have it for Decent Sampler. I think so. You need to check. But basically, that is made from Dan Keane. He's also an amazing musician, and he contributed a couple of sample libraries already. He's also connected to Spitfire. So there's the circle again to the video before where I talked about piano book, and that's an epic sample library where he has created texture sounds and pad sounds out of recordings in nature, and it sounds like that. If I turn on the pad here, oh, sorry, let me solo this, right? So you have like wind, rain, bird sounds. So if I bring that up a little, wow, how beautiful that is, right? We have the rain, the wind, and the bird songs. So it's a very textural, very earthy pad. And it totally fits the vibe of the song, because the song is called Madre, and it's about our Mother Earth and how the earth is our healer, and how if we connect with her, we can heal our hearts and we can be whole again. So like the whole song is basically inviting us to connect with the earth, to receive her love, and to be guided by her in those times of transition and shift. So basically it's a prayer song also to honor the earth as our great mother. So it was super clear to me that I wanted it to be really organic and really earthy, like most of my music anyway. But so yeah, I started with that pad. I really found it super beautiful. And then I added some other pads which came from Forest Kingdom, but I already bounced them to audio, because usually I like to freeze and flatten tracks if I like them. So I don't need to go back and second guess, like once you freeze a track, like a channel, you commit to it, and then you don't go back to changing. And if I like something in the moment, then I, that should be in complex. Then I just freeze and flatten it, and then I don't need to worry about it anymore. So that's a high pad, right? I record pads in the whole frequency spectrum, high, mid, and low. So that's a beautiful atmospheric pad. And we have another one here. Really beautiful, mystical, dreamy pad from Forest Kingdom as well. My favorite sample library for pads and drones. And then another high pad here, which is basically the same pad like this one, just an octave higher. And if we would check that with the tuner, it will also be in 444 Hertz, because I already set the tuning in the plugin. In the plugin, you can change Okay, it's not showing it. Maybe it cannot really find the note here. Here you can see, right? It's around 444 hertz, and you can see that here in the next one. So that is another really beautiful library from Orchestral Tools, and it's called Arbos, Natural Forest Percussion, and you will see a lot more about that in the percussion section. Basically what they did is like really beautiful. They created percussion sounds. They went out in the woods and recorded sticks hitting the tree and hitting the trunk, and they make all those kind of beautiful natural percussion sounds, and they also created atmospheres and pads out of that. And here you can see I tuned it to 444 hertz, right? So that's the solfeggio tuning right here, and the pad sounds like that. Basically just, you know, A. The whole song is in A minor, so I'm working in the scale of A minor. And again, I'm just layering textures, you know, so it's like the pad, and then it's a couple of effects here. I have like the bouncing ball delay, and then the light delay, just to give more movement and spread it out a little bit. And then another pad which I really love is like the glockenspiel pad here. Super beautiful, from the same library. It's also from Orchestral Sounds, but this time it's from Ore, which is another library, and that's basically a library that has like all those beautiful metal percussion instruments, you know, like tongue drums, harpy drums, kalimba, glockenspiel, bells, all kinds of things. So really beautiful. I recommend you to check it out if it's in your budget. I think Ore is like $80 and Arbos is like $50. For me, definitely worth investing. I really love it. Sounds fantastic. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful approach towards creative sound design connected to nature, which I love big time. So this one is a beautiful pad. So now we have like those pads, right? And I recorded all those pads before, and then I went to the percussions. And in general, you know, like if we go back to this main part here, we just solo. Let's stay in the intro for now, or maybe in the first verse. So I wanted, you know, like this song is really gentle, and that's what I love about it. I really love like the vulnerability in it, like how Ella is, you know, being like super gentle and super lovely, and I wanted it not to be like overpowered or overshadowed by, you know, a powerful bass drum or something like that. So I wanted it to be like really round and soft and gentle, yet somewhat earthy and rootsy, right? So this is what I ended up with. If we listen to the drums. So that's just a really soft bass drum. And then I added a buffalo drum. And that's a frame drum that they recorded already. You know, and that was the rhythm that I felt in the track. It's not like so much a 4/4, it's more like a bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, like not like bum 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 bum, but more bum bum, bum bum, more like a heartbeat, you know. And this is like what the drum is indicating. So I try to mimic that and support that. And by the way, that's an amazing frame drum plugin here from Boulder Sounds. If you look at that. It's a contact library, so you need contact, but it's basically like really nice frame drum samples and loops. So yeah, I really recommend you to check that out. Boulder Sounds is here, the website. You can find Google for Boulder Sounds, and they have amazing singing bowls and crystal bowls and stuff like that. So I really like that as well. And so that's with the drums. And then let's have a look at the percussions, which is always a very important part for me. I mean, everything is important. Pads are important, but I really love, you know, to create organic percussion layers So let's have a listen. You know, that's like a shaker. And this is coming from Arbos here. It's the forest drum kit, right? And it's like all those beautiful organic percussion sounds that sound fantastic, super organic. They're mixed amazingly, like, you know, like for a field recording, if you would record that yourself, you would have to EQ a lot, but they just did a great job at the mixing and EQing. So it sounds amazing right off the box, and you don't need to EQ much or nothing at all, actually. And yeah, and then it's like solo, it sounds like that. You know, I just created a little rhythm here. And then I added a bunch of effects again, like the bouncing ball delay again, which creates this kind of stretching. And then with an LFO, I modulated the filter here in the delay to get a little bit more movement. You know, it gets like brighter and darker. As you probably saw in the other video, I like to modulate things over time. So if I'm working with loops, they repeat, but at least the sound changes to keep it more interesting and to keep it more organic and moving. And then the delay again, and then just some auto panning to move it from left to right, but in the random fashion, like not so linear, not like a sine wave, but more like random. So it's like, yeah, just coming in a more surprising pattern. So let's listen just there with the drums. And then one of my favorite samples, I don't know from which library it is, but I really like it, and it's really supporting the groove. And then again, the same thing, like Arbos, but this time the forest drum kit with the rolls here. And I just wanted to give it some more movement, you know, like as the track progresses, I created this rhythm, which is more like driving, but still like super organic. And then another tribal percussion sample. And then a water drum from Worldsuit. I already bounced it down to audio. And that's basically like the whole rhythm together with the vocals. Right, so that's it for the rhythm and the percussions. And again, I recorded everything before I went into the arrangement. So now let's just have a look at the instruments real quick. So as I said, like the main vibe was like earthy, warm, organic. So I love the kalimba as an instrument, and I love flutes, of course. So what I did was recording different phrases according to the harmony that she was playing. Like I tried to, to play something along with it. I'm using the push. That's a MIDI controller for Ableton where you can press the pads and they play notes. Right, so I have different frame drums. That's a frame drum from Forest Kingdom. And I played different patterns there. But then I have also the same frame drum from Worldsuit. Frame drum, I'm sorry. I mean panpipe. Right. So that's a really beautiful library as well. Worldsuit, they have amazing instruments, and I used it a lot in this remix. And yeah, they also just sound fantastic, and it's amazing how you can like shape the sounds and color the sounds like with the velocities and the EQs, and it's just a beautiful beautiful sound quality and the natural feel of the instruments. So I really love the World Soup library as well. If you can afford it, I really recommend you to get it. But as you saw in the other video, you know, you don't need these plugins necessarily if you're just at the beginning, you know, like I'm producing for more than 18 years. So this is kind of what is like my life's mission or purpose. So I spend my money on plugins and I really love to work with them, but I don't necessarily need them to make music, you know, so you don't need them. But if you're looking for great plugins in that kind of style, those are the ones that I recommend and really love working with, and I'm really grateful that they exist. They definitely create a lot of inspiration for me. Okay, so then I have like an ocarina also from the World Suite, but this one is already bounced. And then a kalimba. And then like a bunch of effects, you know, like this is from a contact library called Meditation, where you have like all those meditative sounds. And then I have pretty much always the same effects. Like this is another one that I really love. It's called Stella, which is, yeah, kind of like a shift, pitch shift, delay, / tremolo and phaser. So what it's doing is it's adding this shimmery layer to it, right? And this is a free plugin, but you need you need Reactor 6. And this guy called Bosco-Mac, he made an amazing collection of plugins and instruments. I really love his stuff. So if you have Reactor, check it out. It's really, really cool stuff. And you know, like if I turn it off, you know, it loses the shimmer. So basically what it's doing, it's like adding an octave left and right on top of it. It's creating some stereo imaging if you want. It is having the phasing effect and the tremolo. And I just blended it in a little bit. You know, and you can change. So now it's like 2 octaves higher. You know, he has these beautiful names of the galaxies or like star systems. And yeah, it's just super beautiful. I love that, to add that on everything that I want to be shimmery. Stella is my go-to effect for that. And then again, the bouncing ball, you know, just to spread it out, give it some randomness and some movement. It's from the same guy. It's also from Bosco-Mac, right? So I highly recommend to get his collection. It's free, you can donate. And there's a bunch of effects that I really love. And also instruments, but I don't use his instruments in this project, but in another one that I will show you at some point. So yeah, and then in general, what I like to do with melodies and stuff, I like to use fade to gray. You know, because if I turn it off, like it's basically like a delay and a filter EQ at the same time. And it just puts it a bit more in the background, takes a little bit out of the brightness and makes it a bit more dreamy and a bit more in the background. And then Valhalla Shimmer, of course, my favorite reverb for like long tails, like long reverbs. You know, if I turn that off, just gives it this nice etheric feel. And as you will see, I have like a bunch of reverbs and delays on everything. So then I have the same sounds played in different instruments, right? So that's another kalimba. You can like choose different kalimbas here in the World Suite, and you can change the articulation. And again, you can hear the same effect chain, like Stella, that one, fade to gray, and the black hole. So bunch of kalimbas, and then also the chords of the kalimbas. So here is the kora, super beautiful string instrument from Africa. And you know, it's It's basically always the same melody, but different instruments. And again, here you can really hear clearly the bouncing ball, like this stretching, which almost sounds a little bit like strumming, you know, and that's what I really like to use it on string instruments as well. It's kind of like this strumming. So if I turn it off, it's like, listen now with the strumming, and now I turn it off. Right, it doesn't have the strumming anymore. Okay, and then all those drones I also recorded, you know, at the beginning. They're all from Forest Kingdom. And basically, I just wanted to have like transition sounds, you know, for the beginning and for the in-between sections and stuff. Just some really nice... You know, like those kind of earthy sounds, flute effect sounds. You know, I just recorded a bunch of them, 5. And then, of course, I added some nature sounds, like birds. And then I have this beautiful flute recording that I did with Kailash Kokopelli, who is an amazing elder who is, like playing the prayer flute. And we recorded that flute in Guatemala. And it sounds super beautiful. And it's a perfect for the beginning and the ending, because the intention is calling in the spirits of the land. You know, like in this case it was Guatemala, but in general it's just like an opening ritual kind of. And just a little bit EQ, compression, delay, and reverb, the Fab Filter reverb, Cathedral. Yeah, so those are basically all the instruments, and I was playing around with all of that, and then I started arranging, and I kept the original arrangement, right? So basically the whole track more or less stays intact. I just ended the intro and the outro with the flute, and then I started arranging and then just keeping elements. And now let's go through the arrangement. All right, and here we are now in a new project. And basically what I did, I was grouping all the elements that I showed you before accordingly. So I created a group just for the voice and the guitar, and then for all the atmosphere sounds, all the drone sounds, my electric guitar, all the instruments, and the kick, and all the pads, all the percussions, and the solfeggios. So instead of 50 channels, we have just now 9 channels. And basically what you can do is you can export the group channel, and then you have all the sounds in one audio track instead of having all the separate audio tracks, which is really handy, especially for mixing, you know, because I did all the mixing of the elements so far. And now I have all the groups, and, you know, for the final project it's good to just do some slight group processing. But we don't go into mixing at this point because this is not like a mixing tutorial. It's pretty advanced stuff. And in general, I try to speak more towards beginners mainly. So we're going to build that gradually. And if I talk about mixing, then it has to be, there needs to be like a foundation. So I will do that step by step. Now we just focus on the arrangement and the idea behind it, so that you can actually hear what came out of the elements that I showed you before and how they ended up being in the track. So in general, I think I mentioned that in other videos, but I say it again, that I approach tracks like ceremonies or rituals, and I really love to have like an opening and a closing in the track, like in the rituals. Every ritual has an opening and a closing and an intention, right? So here the intention is to receive the healing of the earth, but also to connect the earth and honor the earth, right? So Kaila's flute is perfect for that. Like he is playing the prayer flute, and he's calling in the spirits. At the beginning and at the end of the song, he is playing flute again to express the gratitude to the spirits of the land. So that's how it starts. So let's have a listen step by step. I will talk you through the arrangement. So we start with nature sounds and solfeggio. I always start with nature sounds to give this feeling of home and to just already paint a picture, so to say, set a scenery. And in general, I wanted to maintain the original feel of the track, but just add some sparkle, some magic. So I worked a lot with transition sounds. So now the guitar comes in, and then we're going into the verse. Transition drone here, and some percussions coming in, the vocals, the glockenspiel pad is coming in, and then it's slowly building up, and always the transitions in between. Another drone, more percussions, and then another drone, transitioning, and now comes the bridge. And I just gave some space for the ocarina, which sounds more beautiful, or like has more space without the vocals. And it's just to, support the magic of the track and the magic of the earth and nature. Now the kalimba comes in, playing along the vocals. And now we enter the chorus, and now we have all the percussions, also the faster ones, more pads. But still, like the main focus on the voice and the guitar. Everything is just supporting her and the lyrics. Some little accents and sparkles with the kalimba. Another drone sound. Now the chora. And more pads. The flute for the transition. The kalimba at the end. Just little sparkles here and there. And then my electric guitar is coming in, which is basically like 3 layers with a lot of reverb, a lot of shimmer, and the Stellar plugin that I showed you. Again, just to give some space and to add to the magic. I really wanted the track to be like uplifting light and gentle. as we go towards the end, I put less and less elements and the focus more like on the original, also to just bring it down back to the essence. Now the chorus without anything, just the guitar and the water. Now the beautiful outro. So the journey is coming to an end. We have a proper resolution, we have a proper integration moment. I just love how the guitar fits with the flute, you know, like we didn't record the flute for this track, but it just fits perfectly. And then everything is fading out slowly, still gives some nature vibes. All right, so this was my walkthrough for the remix for Madre, for Ella, which was released recently on our Medicine Music label Numa. I recommend you to check out the whole release. You can just go on my other channels, tab on this channel, and then you see the Numa official channel. That is our Medicine Music label, and there you find the whole release. Really beautiful. If you enjoy this, you will enjoy the whole EP. There's other beautiful remixes as well, and another original song. So yeah, if you enjoy that, feel free to check it out. And thank you for watching. I hope this inspired you to create your own medicine music remixes with the organic elements, and yeah, just in general to work with Solfeggio Frequencies in your music productions. I hope you could feel what they added, you know, like basically they are just like this enveloping, beautiful, high vibrational frequency feeling that I get from the solfeggios, and at the same time very calming, you know. So I think it's really powerful to add them in, even if it's like subtle in the arrangement. It definitely makes a difference if they're not there. All right, yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Keep creating magic. Bye bye. I hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making the video. And if you are new to music production and you would like some support, or just in general you're looking for a community of fellow sonic Merlins that are supporting each other and empowering each other to create magic with sound, you might want to check out our Academy for Sonic Sorcery. There's different tiers with which you can join with as little as $5 per month. You can join our weekly online meetings and our Telegram group where we give feedback to our projects, where we can ask questions if we feel stuck, and just in general share everything related to sound healing and meditation music and everything that we come across that we think might be of interest to the members. And then as you go higher as an adept and mage, you will be able to download my Ableton projects, and you get discount in my online store for the products that I'm offering, like templates and loops and stuff. And as a mage, you will also get all the benefits and a 90-minute monthly personal private class with me, like online coaching. So if that is something that you resonate with, if you feel the call, we are super happy to welcome you. At the moment, we are 9 members and growing. And yeah, we would love to see you there to co-create some magical stuff together, and the next days you will see some of the beautiful things that already have been created within the Academy. I'm so excited to share like breathwork journeys and shamanic down-tempo tracks and meditation music, all beautiful things that have been created within the Academy, and we will show you some of it, and my students will break down the process in a video for you. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, Simsalaboom, and see you in the next video.